Okay, welcome everybody. I am absolutely so excited for you guys to hear from our special guest speaker tonight. You guys will have to excuse me. I'm sitting in an Aldi's parking lot. I was on the way home from an event tonight and thought I was going to be home in time, and was about 15 minutes away, so I pulled over into the Aldi's. But anyways, I'm so excited for you guys to hear from Erin. Erin is one of my most favorite people in the company. She is just the best. She's just such a hard worker. And she's just someone that from day one, when I joined 2.5 years ago, has just always inspired me so much. And I just know that you guys are just going to soak up all that she has to share tonight. So Erin, are you on? Are you able to unmute yourself?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I'm so excited.
Do you want to go ahead and just introduce yourself and just tell everyone your story?
Yeah. Okay, so my name is Erin Tweed, and I'm an ambassador diamond. I've been in the business 4.5, it'll be 5 years at the end of July, which is crazy. So you guys are going to have to bear with me because there's so many pieces of the story that keep getting added on. And I'll probably forget pieces. But so I was a nurse working full-time Monday through Friday in administration. And the big thing for me is I just got tired of missing moments with my son. Take him to daycare. I was always at work by 6 a.m., seeing my patients, working 50, 60 hours a week, and really just trying to make ends meet. And so I planned to go back and get my master's, but I really didn't want to go back to school. I didn't want to go back to school. I didn't want more student loans. And I didn't really have a passion for like exactly what I wanted to do. So I just felt kind of lost. And I was a new mom, so I cut off all my hair, saw hair, skin, and nails, and was like, oh, spend money on ourselves. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It cut out for just a second, but I can hear you now.
Okay. I have to operate on a hotspot. That's the problem with living in our new house is we don't have Wi-Fi 3 months later. So I have a hotspot. So if it gets bad, then I'll just hop on my phone and do it from there. But so I just, I was living paycheck to paycheck and just hated it. Like I hated missing moments. And so I jumped right in when my enroller said, have you thought about making money using the products? So I did that. My second month in, I hit Ruby. And so I was making that $500 extra a month that I had initially started to think about that would help with childcare. And then I really don't know how to describe it. It was just, I was so excited for what was happening. And the fact that, I went to school to be a nurse because I wanted to help people. This was just another avenue to be able to do that. And so I, hit diamond in 4 months, double diamond in 7, double promoted to pres, 1 day shy of my year anniversary. 20 months in, we hit ambassador. Then we've taken our 2.0 spot triple. It'll go pres next month. And so along that, along that journey, we went through unexplained infertility. And so because of this business, we were able to pay cash for IVF and all of our infertility treatments. Because of this business, we were able to pay off all of our credit card debt, pay off loans that we borrowed from family, and we were able to make a 6-figure savings account. We were able to, and then and so he blessed us with a third surprise baby that we know is going to be born with cleft lip and cleft palate. And so we know that there's going to be some struggles that come along with that. But because of this business, we don't have to worry about that. We can just simply, focus on his health and find him the best surgeon and all that kind of stuff. So it just, life is always going to happen, but it's just been the biggest blessing over and over and over again.
I love that so much. I love just like how even after going ambassador so quickly, you haven't stopped and you're going pres next month. Like I feel like you're just the epitome of no excuses, and being pregnant, about to have a baby, and having 2 little ones too. I mean, you just seriously, I know that people tell you this all the time, but you're just seriously amazing. Like we're just so pumped to hear all your tips tonight. I think the first and, you know, the tip that everybody kept asking to hear from you with it being end of the month and so many people being up for such crazy promotions, especially with this new charting system and just having that huge leg up. What are your best volume boosting tips? Like, what is your just best ways when you're going for that big promotion just to bring in just a whole lot of loyal customers?
So, you know, the big thing for me, you know, as you're starting to go for a promotion, know that you're not going to be able to do it alone. Okay. So it's a team effort. So don't feel like, I think that's the part that everybody gets wrong, because you can be like, I have to bring in all these customers. No, if you're teaching things that are duplicatable, your team's going to bring in customers. And so that's going to be essentially the big thing. I always say you get what you post for. Because a lot of us have probably been really hyping up the $20 promo code, so you probably haven't hit loyal customers as hard. And, you know I was guilty of that. And so I would say get back to basics. You know, when it talks about if you're posting because you need lots of volume, that's what you should be posting. You should be adding to your story every single day, you know, talking about the benefits of different products, going live, you know, asking friends and family if you can tag them in a post, especially, you know, if you're going for one of these big rank up bonuses, you know, I would pull out all stops, and then posting, you know, before and afters and product testers. And don't be afraid of the algorithm. Like, that's the thing, y'all. You know what, it drives me nuts is people like, I can post 1 time a day because I don't want to mess up my algorithm. No, it doesn't matter, because people are still going to go to your page and look, and they want to become a customer, yes or no. And so you still have to show them what you have to offer. So don't worry about the algorithm. Facebook changes, Instagram changes, like we change our underwear. And so it's probably going to change tomorrow. So focus on what you need. So if it's customers, I would just get back to the basics with that. And that's not to say don't, you know, hit it hard, especially if you have codes left. But I would just do that. And then, you know, if you have a team and you're building a team, the biggest thing that I've always done is just share exactly what I'm doing. So if I have a post that's working for me, you're going to hear about it. And I'm going to say, hey, this post is working really great for me. I don't care if you post, like if you copy and paste it on your wall, because at least you're posting it. At least I can help you with wording that conversation. And so it's just getting right in the work with your newbies and your team members. So that way the places that you need the volume are going to start to fill, because you're showing them what to do.
Oh my gosh, I love every bit of what you said so much. I think that so often people just get so scared of the algorithm, and I just love like everyone on my team tonight hearing that from you, because I mean, you're top 10. So if you're telling us it's okay to go post 5, 6, 7 times a day, then obviously it works. So I love so much that you shared that, because I think that's something that definitely, like you said, people just get in their own heads about. And I love that reminder about you get what you post about. I remember you actually said that to me when I was talking to you. I think it was like a year and a half ago. I don't even know if you remember. It was like right before I went triple. And you were like, well, if you're focusing on distributors, you're not going to be getting customers. So that's such a good reminder. Okay. So with messaging, I know that you have always been, you know, a pretty active messenger. What is your best advice to someone who, you know, is wondering, like, should I gear my messaging more towards customers, more towards distributors? And I know you said, like, go for what you need, but have you found that you, or do you typically just message for one or the other? And then the other question that was asked was, how do you really decide, like, who to message?
So for me, it's a lot easier to message about the business, to just say, hey girl, like if I'm looking at somebody's profile and it's somebody that I would want to be friends with in person, I'm going to tell them that, you know, because here's the thing, like social media, you can tell anybody like anything that you want to their inbox or whatnot. You know, it's not just like walking up to a stranger. Like that for me is like, you know, 10,000 pounds of anxiety, but like to tell somebody like through social media, and I've come a long way, you know, because I wasn't as confident, or I wasn't, you know, as consistent with doing those things. But for me, it's easier for me to just say, I don't want to go to bed at night thinking I didn't say the thing that I should have said, and then I'm going to see that person joining somebody else. And so I'm going to plant that bug in somebody's ear. And if they say, hey, it's not the time, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, did you have any goals in mind that you were wanting to work towards? Because I have a couple things in mind. So I feel like you can always turn business into product testers. Or most of the time, because you planted that bug in somebody's ear, now they're going to be very curious as to what you do. They're going to be very curious following your posts. They're going to be very curious following your stories. They're going to be going and checking that out, and typically most people that say no, not right now, within a week or two, they're messaging me and saying, okay, like I've been following your posts, like what's this keto coffee about? Or what's this cleanse about? So they're following that journey. So for me, I just like to tell it like it is. Like, I don't want to go to bed at night. It's just like, when you're in an argument with your spouse, you don't want to go to bed at night like angry. You want to hash it out. Okay, cool. We can go to bed, that kind of thing. And so I'm going to treat my conversations the exact same way. Like if I just think, oh my God, you look beautiful today, I'm going to tell somebody that, or whatever it is, and just starting that conversation. But I want to be the one that plants that bug in somebody's ear. Did I answer your questions? I can't remember.
Yes, no, that's so helpful. I love that you just said, basically in a nutshell, just go for it. If someone's on your mind, don't be scared, just rip the Band-Aid off and go for it. You mentioned something about, like you think and I remember you talking about this at conference about how it's easier to go from business down to products than start with products and go up to business. So what is your best tip if you do message someone about the business and, maybe they act like they're not interested at that moment? What is your best tip for flipping it and going down to products?
So, what I love to do is so somebody may say like, oh, I'm busy, or I've got this going on. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I don't know if it's just me or Britt. Okay, I'm good. It froze for a second, so I was just making sure. So I love if I'm able to just say like, hey, if they say I'm too busy, or, like, no, it's not a good time. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I totally get it. I'm a busy mom too. If for some reason you want more information, let me know. And I'm happy to send you some stuff that you can look over and just plant that seed again. Or I might say, oh, I totally get it. If something comes across or you change your mind, like, and would love more information on, working from home, just like I did, I would love to send you some information. And just like giving them that option to do those things. Because I think like people are going to watch you then, and they're going to come around and say, I know you messaged me before, and now like I actually want a little bit of info.
I love that. Just keeping it simple and just making sure they know the door is open. That's just so huge, I think. Okay. With $20 codes, I know one question that a lot of people had for you was just, are you being choosy with your codes, or are you, because obviously we all have a limited number. If the people, especially that didn't go to conference with just the 7, are you being exclusive with who you're choosing to give them to, or are you letting, anyone that reaches out to you have one? And then just kind of, again, you kind of touched on this with messaging, but they were wondering just like how you go with like best utilizing your codes.
So I will tell y'all, I had 35 codes and they are all gone. They're all gone. So I have signed, I think 39 or 40 distributors this month. And I am choosy in the conversation, because here's the thing. If I'm going to have to go back and forth with somebody over $20, like it's probably not the right time for them, or it's probably something that's not going on. And so I'm going to say, what are your goals? What do you want to see happening in the next 90 days? What would you like to see that's going on? Because here's the thing. I have a limited amount of codes. I have a limited amount of people that I'm going to be able to focus and give attention to. And so if you are really ready to work and to run, I will give you a code. But if you're not, if we have to go back and forth and I have to follow up with you a bunch of times, and I'm just blunt like that in the conversations, because I don't think I should have to follow up with you 20,000 times over $20. Like, if it's not that, then you need to go message and you're going to find the next person that is interested. And so the big thing for me is, sharing my story every single day on Instagram in some different version. And a lot of people they'll end up messaging me and they'll say, hey, I've been watching. And I'm like, okay, cool. I just keep it super simple. I talk about, the little things that I do. What questions do you have? Okay, let's get you started with this. We're going to get you started in the training. But, don't get so caught up on all these people telling you no for so long that you miss out on the people that are going to tell you yes with it. It's $20. Okay. It's a heck of a lot better when you get people for $20 versus the $10 kits, because that was crazy, a few or 2 years ago or whatever. But if you have to keep going back and forth, they're just not ready. So if you have to talk them into the business, you're going to have to talk them into working. You're going to have to talk them into posting, so go for those people that are ready. They're hungry. And so I wouldn't say I'm necessarily exclusive, but I am picky and choosy, as they have to be willing and ready to work. Otherwise, it's just not going to be for them.
Sorry, I was trying to get myself unmuted. Oh my gosh, that I don't think you could have given better advice. If you have to beg them to join, you have to beg them to work. Like, that's just so huge. I love that so much, and just not getting caught up on the people that are dragging their feet and just going out and, you know, being assertive and finding those new people. Okay. Another question that some of my girls had for you was, obviously, and this is kind of, you know, going along the lines of what you said about not getting too caught up in the algorithm and stuff like that. So what are your just best recommendations for being super loud on social media? Obviously, I know you message behind the scenes, but you also, I mean, I consider you to be someone who also practices strong attraction marketing and just has that strong social media presence. So with like utilizing Instagram stories and your posting on Facebook and Instagram, like what are your just best tips with all that? I don't know if my question makes sense.
Yeah. So for me, and you're going to figure out like certain things are going to work for certain people, and you may hear tips and that may be awesome for that person, but like, you just have to do what's best for you. So for me, I've never changed my posting. I don't post like one time a day or anything like that. Like, if I have something in my heart that I want to share, if I have something, so I might post on Facebook 5 to 6 times a day. You know, I might post more on Instagram, and I might archive some of my before and after, so that way it seems more exclusive after a couple of hours. So stories every single morning. I post mine at 5 a.m. because that's when I get up. Okay. So some people may get the notification at 5 a.m. I don't care if it's in their thing, but you know, that's just, I have to get that done. So I have to get my story done. And then a lot of times I'm doing, sharing my story in different ways and just talking about, because I don't know if you read, what is it? Building Your Story Brand by Donald Miller. Did you listen to that? And so, it's amazing. So he talks about, you know, we are the problem solvers. So people have problems, they have issues, and we have to be the guide to help them. And so, you know, if you can think about your post, stopping and thinking and saying, okay, this post, one, does it make me feel anything if I read it? But two, who am I not necessarily targeting, but who am I marketing to? And what feelings am I trying to help them overcome? You know, so that might be something. So if I'm going to post about, you know, being a stay-at-home mom, yeah, that's awesome. But I want to talk about the feelings as to why I chose to get there, what I was feeling like prior, because that's what people can remember. Are intentional with posting on, you know, Facebook and Instagram, but doing it like all the time. It's just one of those things. Like, I'm a morning person, so you're going to see stuff from me super early in the morning, probably after 8 or 9 p.m. Like, I'm going to be in bed, because that's just like what I do. I go take a bath and I read, because that's just like my calm down time, you know, where I'm not energized at that time, so I don't want people to hear from me then. Are we good? I know it cut out for a second, I think.
Yeah, you're back now. It cut out for just like a couple seconds, but you're back now.
Okay.
I love that. I don't know if you're familiar with Grant Cardone. I'm sure you are, Erin, because you're like the self-development queen, but you just, I feel like, are the epitome of like the 10X. Like, you just take massive action in every area, and you're like just so unapologetic about it, and I love it. Okay, the last question I just had for you is just what you've obviously been through, 4 conference seasons now, or is this your 5th one? What are your best tips for, you know, people that maybe this is their first season, or maybe second, and maybe they're just now really, you know, getting some in their business? Like, what are just your very best tips that you would leave them with?
You know, I was kind of thinking about this earlier, because sometimes, you know, like, I'll even have leaders reach out to me, and sometimes they'll be like, I'm just having a hard time. I'm like, how? There's so much momentum right now. If you're having a hard time, you got to start with you. So you've got to start there, figure out what's holding you back, what's going on. Yeah, it's not all going to be butterflies and rainbows, and sometimes we all have, you know, tough days, but it starts with you. So making sure, like, self-development, that you're doing those things. And then just know, like, what your goals are. So the work that you've been putting in, you know, if you put in a lot of work, October, November, December, you are about to be really rewarded in these first few months. If you haven't, that's okay. It's time to ramp it up and put in the work now, because we're going to see those results in 90 days. And starting some towing, you need to know who's going to be on that chart. And so it's not the time to sit there and worry about all these people that aren't working, because there's so much momentum. The company has given us so many things. You know, Mark's going live on this page tomorrow to throw some fuel on the fire. And it's like, how can you be stuck? So if they're stuck, it's not their time to come with you on that journey, on that part. When you're so hyped up and ready to go, that's when, if you start feeling that and putting that off, you're going to attract people. So the speed of the pack is the speed of the leader. And so for me, it's always just been, I focus on a goal. I'm going to go after that. And I'm the one that I know my team is going to look up to. So it starts with me first. And so my mental game's got to be in check. My enrollments have got to be in check. The work that I'm doing every single day has got to be in check, because if I want to really take advantage of this momentum, it starts with me.
I love that so much. I think that, you know, there's just so much freedom in like taking a step back and saying, what am I doing? Because so often we can get caught up in what everybody else is doing. But like you said, like if we always come back to what we're doing, everything else is going to fall in place after that. So I know you mentioned building a story brand. Are there any other self-development books that you would recommend that you've had your team? I know your team like book clubs and stuff pretty regularly. What are just some good things that you would recommend besides that one too?
Gosh, I'm trying to think of, we're always reading different ones. You know, for me personally, I always have a couple things going at a time, because I think different days you're going to need different things. So, you know, I listen to Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. I think it's her last name. Yeah. So I think that there's just different things that you're going to need every single day. I just got this in the mail, the leadership promises for every single day. It's literally a daily devotional. I've never seen it, but I was like, I need that, just because it's something every single day geared towards it. But one thing that I will tell y'all that I did a year ago, the first week of December, because I knew I was going to be having Ellie. And so, you know, I was trying to not let my mind play games with me, knowing that, okay, I'm going to have another baby. I don't want to be that person that gets thrown off the bandwagon, you know, when they have another baby. Like, I don't want my game to stop. And so I got the Prayer of Jabez. So it's by Bruce Wilkinson. It's a 92-page book. You can get it on Amazon. It's little itty bitty. And so it has 7 chapters. And so the first week I read that the first week of December. And so one thing that I did with that is I started journaling. So I journal every single morning, and I talk as if life has already happened 3 months, 6 months down the road. So I'm talking about, what does it feel like now that I'm presidential and I've earned that $25,000 bonus on my 2.0? What does it feel like that, you know, we've been able to pay off, you know, our Tahoe, or whatever those goals are that you have on your dream board. So writing as if it's already happened. And so that for me was huge. And so he just talks a lot about, if you're not familiar with it, but he talks a lot about how God wants you to ask for big, audacious things, but a lot of times we get stuck so like minute, and we don't want to be like, well, we just want to be like, well, you know, help so-and-so feel better and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, he's asking to bless you abundantly, but you have to be ready. You have to ask and be ready for your territory to be expanded. So you can be a blessing to other people and not do any harm. That's what that Bible verse says. And so if you haven't done that, make that a challenge for yourself going into March, because I can't even tell you what has happened in my business, because ever since I've done that and I've started praying abundantly and journaling abundantly, my moments have been crazy. Like, they have not stopped. And I've had a baby and I'm about to have another one, and I'm so out of breath right now. But, you know, it's just I'm like, good grief, is this ever going to stop? But, you know, it's one of those things that, like, I don't know if you consider it self-development or what, but something just happened when I sat down and I read that, and I just, like, I made that commitment. Like, I've started journaling. I write down, you know, my statements every single day. And so you're going to have different books. I don't, you know, a lot of times it's just whatever is catering to life and what's going on for you right then. Because some people will give me book recommendations and I'm like, I don't know how people listen to this person because it makes me fall asleep all the time. But, you know, finding those things that are going to work for you, and then just like, I don't know, journaling in that book has been incredible.
I love that so much. One of my double diamonds on here, her uncle actually used to be our pastor, and he talked all the time about the prayer of Jabez and how, like, when you pray that prayer every single day over your life and over your business, like, big things happen because, I mean, ask and you shall receive. And the Lord is sometimes just waiting on us to ask. So I love that you just shared that again, I just think it's such a powerful reminder. So thank you so much for that. What was the book? I was trying to write it down as you were talking, the one that, the prayer of Jabez journal that or devotion that you got?
It's on Amazon. So if you type in the prayer of Jabez, it's by Bruce Wilkinson. It's literally like this size book. It's tiny and it's 92 pages, 7 chapters. So I could read a chapter a day. That was like my challenge, a couple pages a day. And I mean, the font is big, the pages are small. You can do it very quickly, you know, and so it's just something happened in my mindset where it just shifted and I was like, okay, like I get it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, it like froze and I didn't realize you were still talking.
Oh.
Thank you so much, Erin. I think that you just literally, if there's anyone here tonight that just had any kind of just those open spaces in their mind, like, what do I do next? How do I maximize this? I don't see how they don't have everything they need now to take away and just run hard the rest of the month and maximize these last 5 weeks we have of bonuses being out and everything else. So thank you so much for always just being so selfless and generous with your time. We just appreciate you so much. I know you've got your own massive team, and for you to just take the time for our team just really means a lot to us. But does any let me look at the chat real quick. I didn't even look if there was any other questions.
Well, and one thing too, Brittany, that I'll add that I challenge my leaders and my team is to always write down, things that they're doing daily and make sure that 80% of that is building your business. Because sometimes, especially like during these promotion months and stuff like that, if you were asking about customers and stuff, sometimes we can get so caught up on like worrying about numbers or worrying about what our team's doing and are they working, but that 80%. So what you are achieving daily, like the things that you're doing every single day, like be very honest with yourself, write it down and say it's 80% of that building my business, because it starts with us. And then the 20% is going to be checking on your team, checking on your newbies, all that kind of stuff. But, you have to focus on that. So I always challenge them the beginning of the month. I'm like, okay, where's your list? What does it look like?
I love that. I think that's so good, and just so good, such a good reminder for anyone at any rank to just keep yourself in check and always just make sure you don't fall into management mode and stay into that, just constant place of just always leading by example. So I love that so much, Erin. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you getting on here and just sharing with us. And I'm going to get this recording uploaded to YouTube tonight when I get home. So thank you so much, Erin. I hope you have a wonderful night.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.